Hello, welcome to Guides to the Unknown. I'm Kristen.
And I'm her little brother, William. And
This
happy
week-
Life Day.
Happy Life Day. We are venturing into space to discuss the Star Wars Holiday Special.
Ironically, this began as us trying to find something about aliens to talk about around the
Right.
holidays. Technically, it's correct.
Yeah, exactly. So this is, it's got the Star Wars brand of aliens.
It does.
Mainly Chewbacca.
Mostly Chewbacca's.
Yeah,
Wookiees, they're
Right.
called, on the planet Kashyyyk.
right.
Although in this special, they call it Kazook. There's like mispronunciations and stuff. I can't pretend to have like an encyclopedic knowledge of Star Wars. I don't know.
I feel like you know a good amount.
I know
though.
a good amount,
Yeah.
but it's all pretty like normie, like watching the movies pop
Right.
culture knowledge. Like I don't have any Wikipedia deep dive.
That's awesome. I didn't know that there was Wikipedia, but it makes total sense.
Sure. Yeah, we've definitely talked about it for some reason before.
Okay.
But this is a special that genuinely aired on television,
Yes,
November
it sure
17th.
did.
1978.
Yep.
So it's about 45 years old.
Yep.
And it is broadly known as maybe easily the worst piece of Star Wars media that
Yeah.
exists. Maybe one of the worst television specials of all time.
There's a legend that George Lucas has tried to destroy every single physical copy of it.
Yeah.
And kept it from being distributed even on TV outside of the US and Canada.
Yeah.
Because he basically came up with the treatment for it and then handed it over to the people at CBS while he worked on The Empire Strikes Back. Is that
Yes,
the second movie?
that's correct.
And so things kind of got a little hairy, and I'm not just talking about the Wookiees.
Chris.
And he didn't like what he was seeing, and neither did the
Anybody.
world.
Yeah.
Yeah, except for you, I think.
Well, we'll get to it.
Right?
Don't blow up my spot, sis.
Well, we're talking about it, aren't
No,
we?
I would have held that information back that I actually enjoyed this. But this aired exactly once.
Yeah.
It aired exactly once on November 17th, 1978. Was pulled, never aired again.
Right.
But people had taped it. The bootlegs of this thing went.
It became legend.
I happen to know. Actually, they said this fully on a show on Tell 'em Steve Dave. It was originally Walt Flanagan ran Kevin Smith's comic book shop. And in the early days of that store, a significant operation they did was selling copies of the Star Wars Holiday Special.
That's funny.
In DVDs that had a professional looking cover. And anyway,
God.
they couldn't do that forever.
Yeah.
But so this was a heavily pirated, sought after collector's item.
Because it's so odd.
And now it's just on YouTube.
Oh, yeah. There are multiple versions.
Just on YouTube.
Different definitions.
You would think though that it would have been pulled or what at least we know
Totally.
about putting up anything that has copyright information.
I know. I don't know how this happens.
You get smacked down so fast on YouTube these days.
Right.
They posted the full movie.
Maybe
full
the issue
special?
is the monetization. Or
maybe
something?
maybe they're not monetized.
Right. It's just for the joy of it.
Yeah. Yes.
Just for the taste of it, Diet Coke. Just for the love of it, Star Wars Holiday Special.
Oh, what a joy.
Mm-hmm.
It's about an hour and a half long. It is literally feature length.
Yeah.
And the premise is so...
I would say it's a loose premise. They conceived it as a variety hour.
It's not.
No, it's so strange because there are hints of variety hour to it.
Meaning you might throw to a musical act, might throw to a sketch.
Right. And there's still a uniting storyline, kind of.
Right.
Basically, there is a Christmas-like holiday called Life Day on Kashyyyk. Is that
Yes.
right? Or Kazook, is that they call
Kazook
it?
in this special, it's called, yeah.
And so Han Solo,
Very good.
I get mixed up Han Solo and Luke Skywalker, but Han
Yeah,
Solo
Han
is
Solo,
Harrison Ford,
Harrison
right?
Ford. Everybody's in this.
Yeah.
This was made right after the original movie, and they've got
Right.
everyone. They've got Mark Hamill, they've got
Mm-hmm.
Harrison Ford,
Who else? Who else is everyone?
Princess Leia. They have
Right. Carrie Fisher.
Carrie Fisher, thank
Mm-hmm.
you. And Anthony Daniels as C-3PO. Although they don't have Kenny Baker inside of R2-D2 clanking around. R2-D2 is credited as himself.
Yeah, in the
He's
beginning.
Pee Wee Herman or something.
I know. In the beginning, they're doing featuring Harrison Ford, blah, blah, blah. And they say, and R2-D2 as R2-D2.
Yeah, I don't know what Kenny Baker was doing,
know.
but he's not in it.
Yeah.
He's not in that thing.
Maybe he had a premonition.
Maybe. By the way,
Because everybody else, for a long time, now, it seems like it's kind of okay to like laugh at how bad it is because enough time has gone by. Everybody's so successful, like it's all good. But my understanding is that for a long time, a lot of the people involved in it genuinely didn't want to talk about it because it was like a black mark on their records.
Yeah, it's pretty embarrassing.
And Carrie Fisher was really the only one who like didn't give a shit and was like, I know it's so weird, but like Mark Hamill,
because Carrie Fisher was brilliant and very
and a
funny.
weirdo, yeah. And Mark Hamill and Harrison Ford like genuinely didn't really want to talk about it.
It screams like they were contractually obligated to do this. It is an uncomfortable watch. It is
strange.
very bizarre in concept. We're gonna spoil it in case that's something you're worried about, but again, go watch it on YouTube.
Yeah.
I
We originally conceived, and we went away from it, but we conceived of this episode as being something where we could decide to hit a kill switch.
I wrote down when my kill switch would be flipped. I do have, because we did this on Patreon when we talked about Hellraiser, the new Hellraiser.
Right.
At a certain point, we were like, "We'll watch this movie, but whenever we hit a point where we're like, I don't want to watch this anymore, we are allowed to stop it.
Yeah.
But we have to at least share what pushed us over the edge."
Right.
So I did hit a wall.
I did too.
And I
just
wrote
found
down
it.
what made me do it.
What made you do it?
What made me do it? I think it was.
We both decided that we will watch the whole thing. We decided to abandon that, but also note like when we would just be out.
I did end up watching the entire thing. Yeah.
Oh, I did too.
I think it was at the cooking segment where
Ugh. Made me sick.
where Harvey Korman is playing a woman.
By the way, I feel like I know a lot of like old-timey celebrities, as do you.
Yes.
When they were going through the who's who in the cast in the beginning,
I have them.
I didn't know like anybody.
No.
I was like, who are these people? I obviously knew B. Arthur, but
Right.
they were going through it and I was like, even I don't know who these people are.
Star featuring Beatrice Arthur, Art
That
Carney.
threw me. I knew names
You knew
sometimes.
Art Carney?
Yeah. Hmm.
Diane Carroll.
I did not know.
Okay, I didn't know her either. Jefferson Starship.
Yeah.
Build Above. Harvey Korman.
Again, like a name I feel like I've heard, but
Harvey Korman was like a character actor from the Carol Burnett show.
okay. Well,
And
that makes
he's-
sense.
Oh, you didn't know who Harvey Korman
No,
is?
no, I didn't.
Oh, I knew who Harvey Korman is. He's in Blazing Saddles. He's in High
Okay.
Anxiety.
Oh.
So he did stuff with Mel Brooks.
Oh, okay.
So he is like a pretty seasoned.
He's using a lot of
character actor.
seasoning
There's a lot
in
of
that
seasoning.
sketch.
Yeah, he
The
plays
cooking sketch.
He plays Chef Gourmanda,
Right.
who is is teaching Chewbacca's wife how to cook a recipe, and the recipe is called Bantha Surprise.
Yeah.
Harvey Korman is the entire gag is he's going like, so for this step, what you do is you go stir, whip, 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 stir, whip, whip, stir. It's literally that for minutes on end, but then another pair of arms come in because obviously it's Star Wars, so aliens have to be around. So Chef Gourmanda, like when Drew Carey was on Whose Line Is It Anyway?
Yeah.
And somebody would be pretending to be his arms.
Oh, right.
something
Yep.
like that.
Uh-huh.
It's like that,
Yes.
but less funny.
Certainly.
If
And
you
went
could-
on
if
for
you
quite
could
a long
believe it.
time. I know. And besides just the arm thing, he had like weird prosthetics on his face.
Overly
That
tanned,
were,
like weird, gross, metallic-y tan toner on him.
Bad to look at.
Anyway, I saw it and then I wrote, "This is where I would stop."
Okay. Where I am seeing that I would have,
That's easily 15 minutes in, by the way. 15, maybe 20.
I hit a couple of, I hit multiple walls. I've got that it takes, hang on, where did I write that I would stop? I basically, I remember thinking to myself that as soon as we got in there, like as soon as we went into Chewbacca's house and they're just babbling to each other, I was like, I got it. If this was just me watching it, I would be out like instantly.
This is the elephant in the room. We have to address it because we haven't really.
They don't have not English dialogue, human dialogue for 12 minutes.
That's correct. Yeah, I also wrote down the time.
Yeah.
So there's a cold open. There's a cold open,
Yeah.
which is Chewbacca
It's misleading.
and Han
cold
Solo
open.
in the cockpit of the Millennium Falcon.
Right.
Right, so classic adventure, Star Warsy stuff. They're on the run from the Empire. And the whole thing is Han Solo being like, I'm telling you, Chewie, I will get you back to your family for Life Day. That's what makes this a holiday special.
Right.
Is that they celebrate something called Life Day.
Yeah.
I would like to look this up on Wikipedia, Wookiepedia, whatever. I have not.
There is probably a backstory.
Maybe we will. I'm sure there is.
I don't know if there actually is a backstory. I'm sure there's a fan backstory.
Yeah, I wrote down what they say it is in the special, but I have to imagine that like it's been embellished. But so that's what this is all hung on. Chewbacca is late for Life Day.
Right.
So then we go to the Chewbacca home where we meet Chewbacca's family.
Yeah.
And they are the centerpiece.
Right. So this
is where these three characters will eventually, like, one of them will sit down and watch a movie, and then we're treated to that movie, right? So that's why we saw Harvey Korman cooking, because Chewbacca's wife,
Mala. So he has a wife named Mala, a father named Itchy, and a son named Lumpy. I don't like Itchy's mouth.
No,
I don't like it one
Itchy
bit.
is really scary.
Itchy's a deviant.
Why do you say that?
Because of that weird softcore scene that he gets into in the middle of the living room with his daughter-in-law.
Or his daughter.
I'm phrasing that in a way that could be confusing. Yeah, or his daughter. You're right.
I'm not sure. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure. He doesn't get into a softcore scene with his daughter or daughter-in-law. They have some sort of helmet that is like a TV helmet that he puts on, and it's Diane Carroll, who I've learned now is a singer, doing this. And I read in the IMDb trivia that they intentionally thought of it as softcore porn, that they were...
What?
Yeah, well, it was at least in the trivia that somebody who worked on it said that. Probably somewhat jokingly, but they were like, yeah, this is how we worked in some softcore into the special. Like...
Just some appeal for the... Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. But talking directly to Itchy and being like, you're wonderful.
Yes.
You're amazing. I find you adorable.
She says, I'm your fantasy. I watched this. I wrote down quotes from this somewhere. I don't know if it doesn't really matter. Oh, here, I've got it. I'm in your mind as you create me. Ah, yes. Can you feel my creation?
Oh, yeah.
I'm getting your message. Are you getting mine? And then they cut to Itchy going like, blah, 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 blah.
And it's like...
And then she says, ah, yes, we are excited, aren't we?
It's like a gorgeous one with like a Vaseline lens sort of thing. Right. There's sparkles all around her. It's also just kind of like trippy and weird.
Yeah.
And then I think she says, I find you adorable. And then he keeps rewinding that.
Yes.
Like, so she's like, I find you adorable. Like making eye contact with the camera. And then you hear like, I find you adorable.
I find you adorable. He's like chewing his gums. Because he has, like, no teeth. Like, they've designed this particular Wookiee so that his mouth closes, like... He looks like Hector Salamanca. You know what I'm talking about?
He does look like Hector Salamanca. He also looks like the grandma from the dinosaurs.
Oh, boy.
Not the mama. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
She had that same sort of, like, lower lip going over the upper lip kind of thing.
Yeah, because you're, like, missing your upper teeth or something.
Right.
So your mouth closes too hard. I don't know what it is. You know what I'm talking about? Though.
Yes, yeah.
It is very disturbing. And the idea that he's in there... And like, I believe it was Art Carney who gave him the porn.
I believe it was Art Carney.
I believe it was Art Carney who once said, here you go, lumpy.
Itchy.
This is, well, you know. He even says it like there's like, yeah.
And then he puts it on just in the middle of the living room.
In the middle of the day.
Sick. Sick.
She also says, I am your fantasy. I am your experience. So experience me. I am your pleasure. Enjoy me.
You see what I'm talking about.
It's really crazy. It's really crazy. That happens about halfway through this
Ryan and I were aghast.
We
were just like...
Did you watch it? Did you take this in one sitting?
Yes.
I have a shocker.
In one lumpy.
Yeah. I have a shocker to share with you.
Okay.
Because very early on, I was watching this with Allie, and I was like, if you want to also tell me where you would be out, let me know. Mm-hmm. Right. And it was the same point that you said, where it's like the second that you realize we're hanging out with Chewbacca's family, and they only speak like, right. They only speak Wookiee. No subtitles. And it's like a sitcom premise. It's like...
And it went on for too long. Like 30 seconds is maybe the limit. And then you have somebody come in who's
literally
speaking.
10 minutes.
Yeah.
Easily, maybe more.
Yes.
10 minutes of Wookiees growling at each other.
Yeah, it's like the 12-minute mark of the thing, but that's including the credits.
Right.
So, yeah.
But you get what you need of a plot, right? Like, because like Lumpy is a precocious kid who's like running down the stairs playing with a toy, and then Lumpy growls at him. Mean. Lumpy, I'm sorry, I keep getting their names mixed up because it's stupid.
Yeah. Itchy
Growls at Lumpy because Lumpy is running around playing with toys for whatever. So anyway, Grandpa's being mean, right? You get it. You get it enough.
Right.
It's just psychotic to watch.
Yes.
I also like Itchy, the old man, has his like recliner that he likes. It's like Frasier's dad.
Yeah.
Or like All in the Family, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like Archie Bunker is in the chair, right? Meathead. What's his name? Rob Reiner's character, Meathead.
I've never seen All in the Family. I've seen the clips that you see because it's in the zeitgeist.
I'll show you some cool stuff.
I'm good.
Are you sure?
I feel like I have an understanding of it.
Anyway, this is where Allie was also out of just being like, this is it? We're just watching Wookiees.
Instantly, I was like, I don't feel good about this.
I don't know. I just got hit with a wave of, that wave where you're like, I just realized I don't want to talk about this.
I was holding myself back from saying that. I was like, you're always such a negative Nancy. Don't say it. I feel the same way. It's like exhausting.
It's terrible.
It's very, very bad. So I would like to talk about something that happens within these first 10 minutes where we're just hanging out with the Wookiees.
I feel like I was driving to something, but my mind is like getting erased by this periodically.
I think you were too, but
we were talking about the VR headset and then the idea that like...
Well, I guess we were talking about when we were jumping off.
Oh, the shocker. I know what I was getting to.
Oh, okay.
So
right, you didn't watch it all in one sitting.
I did watch it all in one sitting,
Oh.
but here's the shocking thing. I was watching with Allie. She said like, yeah, I'd be done here, like within 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And then she said, but you've seen this before. And I went, no, I haven't. And she goes, yeah, you have. We've watched this before.
Oh.
I have zero. I think she's wrong. It's not just that I don't remember a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
I don't think that I'm not remembering having seen this before. I think we've seen enough clips of this thing
that it feels like you have.
Yeah.
I could see that.
I've never watched this in my life. I think I'd remember it.
I hope
I remember seeing it this time. Just so I don't make the mistake of trying. Because it was always inevitable.
Right.
I was always going to end up
I think it's memorably bad.
Yeah.
So I think you will.
I don't think I've ever seen it before.
Okay.
Allie insists that I have. So take it all with a grain of salt.
Sure.
Maybe on a previous show somewhere I talked about this. I don't know.
Not with me. I think I only had a very vague awareness that this existed.
Yeah. I think there was a sort of inevitability to me seeing this. Someday I was going to have to watch it.
It was always going to come to this.
It was always going to come to this. I forced myself to watch stuff like this.
Right.
I think this was the first time, and I severely hope I didn't forget seeing it before, specifically because I never want to see it again.
Right.
And so I hope I never forget this time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't want to put myself through this again.
Absolutely.
It's
terrible. A rough watch. Okay, I would like to talk about, and this happens in the first 10, like I was saying, a toy that Lumpy has, I guess you would say. This like hologram thing that he can use to watch little human dancers.
Yeah, this is weird.
Is this what Shen Yun is?
I'm sorry?
You know how you see posters for like Shen Yun all over the place?
No, I do not.
Oh, well, if you look up a poster, you'll be like, I've seen that a million times. There are posters for something called Shen Yun that'll be like all over the place a couple of times a year. I have gathered that it's dancers. I think it's group dancing. I think that it might be kind of like Cirque du Soleil,
okay,
but firmly on the ground.
Yeah, okay. I mean, I just looked up.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a person with scarves and stuff, maybe.
I wonder if what these little dancers were doing is what Shen Yun is.
Maybe. I mean, I specifically wrote down Cirque du Soleil because it's basically Lumpy walks over to a little chessboard. I say that because in the original Star Wars movie, Chewbacca plays chess on a hologram chess table thing, and it looks almost exactly like this.
Okay.
I get the idea that you have some sort of an entertainment space.
Right.
You can flip a switch and little holograms are on it.
Yeah.
And so maybe sometimes you're playing chess, maybe sometimes you're watching something, the way that Lumpy is watching these Cirque du Soleil
Yeah.
people dance and do acrobatics. But what puzzles me is that he hits another button and one of the performers becomes life-size in the room.
Right.
Not even on the table anymore.
There's no way to reconcile it with what we know to be possible.
Correct.
Which I guess you can say about all of Star Wars, but still this
That
felt
is true.
particularly egregious.
It's funny too that like this came so early into the existence of Star Wars where like
That was very surprising to me.
Yeah.
I assumed that we were like well into it.
you'd think that something like this would happen. Like Star Wars was what, 77? Like Star Wars was done by like the mid to late 80s.
Right.
The trilogy was complete.
It seems like something that would be a last gasp. Not something that you would do for a hit movie.
Or like during the dark ages between the third movie and the fourth movie. There was like a decade in between. Like you do something to keep it alive. I don't know. But there's nothing. They made one movie and then they made this thing.
It's very peculiar.
It's very peculiar. And really what I mean to say is like the rules of Star Wars maybe hadn't been totally solidified yet.
Yep.
Because I know that Star Wars is a wacky science fiction fantasy world where they have technology we don't have.
Right.
But I don't think these things are possible.
I wouldn't think so.
A hologram table where you hit another button and then the hologram becomes real life?
Yeah.
I don't know about this.
It leads to all sorts of questions.
It really does. It's very, very strange. But here's what's weirder to me.
Because like then that means that Shen Yun was live. You know, he was tuning into a live stream, basically.
Oh, you think so?
If he was able to pull one of the real people out of it, they were currently doing that dance.
Yeah, I guess. Or is it like a video game? Like it's like AI.
Oh, I see.
You know, I don't know.
I don't know.
We may never know. But what puzzles me, so this is really the first segment where you're supposed to be like, oh, right, variety show.
Right.
So every so often, we'll come back to the Chewbacca family. But then they'll all spin off and like, he's going to watch this thing now. So we'll watch this. And this is our first.
You know, she's going to do a cooking segment. He's going to watch porn.
Right.
Things like this.
And we'll enjoy the thing that they are watching.
Yeah.
But the weird thing is like, we never fully go into the fantasy of it. You know what I mean? Like we never leave. Lumpy is always on screen.
The context is always that we're watching what Lumpy is watching.
Exactly.
It's not that we are just going to Diane Carroll's world.
It's extra weird for that reason then, because we're not watching acrobatics. We are watching a baby Chewbacca guy watch acrobatics. And so the entertainment of the movie is looking at this little Chewbacca be entertained.
Right. The little Chewbacca, by the way, is kind of cute, but then it has like human teeth, which is weird.
It looks wrong.
Yes.
It doesn't look quite right. It looks disturbing.
Yeah.
And they will like fill the frame with this little guy's face.
Oh, absolutely.
It's a mess.
They're zooming in whenever they can.
They're more than happy to. But we never actually get to enjoy the variety.
Yeah.
We're always trapped.
Yeah, it's not true variety.
No, it's all about the Chewbacca family and how they feel about what they're watching.
We're just looking over their shoulder.
Exactly right.
Except for a couple of things, like when we go to B. Arthur's bar.
Yes.
You know, like the Chewbaccas don't have anything to do with that. I guess it's like the Imperial Guards doing security footage surveillance or something.
There is context for that. There's context for everything that we see. And sometimes the context is bizarre, and the B. Arthur segment is one of them.
Yeah.
Okay. So, part of what's going on with the Chewbacca family is that, you know, there's a whole galactic empire, right?
Right.
And I guess Chewbacca is a known rebel. I'm not sure. So anyway, Chewbacca's family has to put up a lot with stooges and goons from the empire coming in and rummaging through their stuff. They're living in like a police state.
Yeah.
So, like, these armed guards can come in and search your home.
Right.
So while the armed guards are in there and like, messing with them and stuff, a bulletin comes over the TV, whatever they have for a TV. And it says, mandatory watching, mandatory report. You all have to watch this. It's like a propaganda video.
Right.
And it says, you're about to witness a video that we refer to as, like, life on Tatooine, which is the desert planet from the original movie. They're like, the Empire wants you to watch this so that your life will be enriched by the comparison, they say. Meaning, Life on Tatooine is so terrible.
You're going to feel great about your situation here on Kazook.
Even though you've got a police state breathing down your neck,
Yeah.
you don't realize how good you have it. Look at Tatooine for a while. But from that moment...
Tatooine's looking pretty good.
I know, it's B. Arthur singing.
Yeah.
Singing and dancing and having romance with a second Harvey Korman character.
Oh, I didn't realize
There's a guy who walks in and
I
is
didn't like
flirting.
this guy.
No. He's flirting with B. Arthur, who's a bartender, and he takes a drink and pours it into the top
I
of
didn't
his
like
head.
that.
No, it's really gross. But that's Harvey Korman character 2. If you're real lucky, maybe there's a third. Spoiler alert, there is.
Who is it?
There's a whole segment where somebody is showing how to use or how to build a transmitter.
Okay.
And it's glitchy. And like he acts like a robot.
This isn't
and
tracking
it, like,
for me. I know I watched this,
he
but
clicks his tongue at you and stuff.
wow, I don't remember.
You're lucky. Anyway, that's the
guess
third
so.
Harvey Korman character. So in the B. Arthur segment, they at least just put that on the screen.
Right.
Like Lumpy has to watch that, but then now we're just watching it. And so
Yeah.
you get lost in the fantasy of seeing life at the bar on Tatooine. We don't watch Lumpy watch the screen for that one, at least.
Right. They let us go inside the TV, basically.
They let us go inside the TV, which is appropriate. And so we
Yeah.
get a little play. And I kind of enjoyed the play.
It was, I would say, the best part of it, which is still not saying a lot.
This was a very sharp turning point for me.
Yeah.
From this point on, I kind of like it.
Okay.
The special.
Okay. Good.
Yeah. And this was the shock.
I was like beaten down. I honestly think it's not fair, and I try not to live my life this way. I don't think I could come back from how much I was disliking it. I just don't think I would be able to transition out of my displeasure.
I completely... Your
just was-
reaction is the appropriate one.
I don't know if that's true.
I think my reaction is inappropriate.
I don't think that's true.
The fact that
I don't think that me crossing my arms and being like, I'm done is the right reaction. But I
Especially because you had a solid
wasn't-
half hour to go, at least.
by the way, there was a fake ending to me. I don't think it was fake on purpose, but I thought it was over when they basically transitioned to having their Life Day ceremony or whatever.
I felt like it.
I really truly was like, oh, okay, it's over.
It wasn't
and
over.
there were maybe like 15 more minutes.
Yeah, I thought the same thing. I thought the same thing. So the scene at the bar,
Yeah.
Krellman, played by Harvey Korman, visits B. Arthur. And then I wrote down, I really hope she's related to Amy Sedaris' character from The Mandalorian.
Yeah.
Because that show also takes place on Tatooine.
Right.
In part. This started making me want... we texted a little bit during this, which is usually sort of like against the rules.
Right.
Save it for the show.
Yes.
But we had... What could
But
we
just
do?
a little bit.
What could we do?
Right.
You said you were like, I need to not see anything like this for a while. You were like,
Yeah.
You had to put this down. You can't look at Star Wars for a bit, I guess.
Well, no, not even like this. I can't watch anything that's like, I need something that is straightforward, beginning, middle, end. I know what's going on.
Oh, not like
this was
and another segment and another segment and itchy.
So all over the place, so confusing, surreal, unpleasant. I was like, I just need to watch a Law and Order. I need, there's a bad guy, we're going to get him, here's what happens.
And I'm not talking about bantha meat. We're not making no bantha surprise.
No, I need a New York slice.
Yeah.
And I need District of
Scream 6. I'm going to get a New York slice and watch it.
Ooh,
Sound
yeah.
good?
Yeah,
totally. That I'm down for some New York theming. Do some like
that'd be fun.
New York themed stuff and watch Scream 6.
Oh yeah, totally. We can have like the hats.
Yeah.
Yes. And everything. Yeah.
I will do that.
Yeah,
I'm
that
very
sounds
down
fun.
for that. So anyway.
Yeah.
I totally get your response. You need something that has a little more bones and structure. For whatever reason, starting with B. Arthur, this made me want to watch Andor.
Yeah.
The Mandalorian Season 2, the Boba Fett, things I haven't watched.
Yeah.
It made
Andor's supposed to be amazing.
It made me want more. I started being like, now this is what I like.
See, I actually had kind of the opposite response. Like, even though I was like, I'm happy to be here with B. Arthur. First of all, I felt instantly safer. Here's somebody I can hold on to. I know B. Arthur.
Yeah.
Like,
she's having a hard time with the patrons. She's the bartender and they're not listening to her.
Right. Again, clear. Understandable what's going on here.
I have a story I have to tell you, actually, because I think I was in this bar.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
This is crazy. So the story here is B. Arthur's running the cantina, and the Galactic Senate, or whatever, the Emperor wants to shut it down. I don't know why Emperor Palpatine cares about the bar on Tatooine, but he's saying, shut it down!
Yeah.
Close the bar, kick everybody out. So she tries. She, like, walks up to a table of, like, goofball aliens. She's like, we're closing, you have to leave. And they basically go like, nah, we blarf. And they, like, wave her off. That happened this weekend. That happened at a place where I was. Allie and I just went to a wedding down in D.C., and it was like 1:30 in the morning. We're walking back to our Airbnb, and there's a Taco Bell on the way. And it's a Taco Bell that is like one of these experimental things where they're serving alcohol.
Yeah.
So we're like, let's try that, because they have like a tequila Baja Blast.
Totally.
So we're like, screw it. We'll go try that. 1:30 a.m. in a Taco Bell in D.C. was like the cantina on Tatooine. Literally. The guys working were severely overworked.
Yeah.
And upset. There's so many people waiting for their food. I place our order, and within 10
now I
minutes,
want Taco Bell. Watching this made you want Andor and stuff. Your story is making me want Taco Bell.
They could have done better. The Mexican pizza was a little overdone. I'll say that.
Better than under, I think.
That's true. That's a great point.
Yeah.
But within one order after me, they had to start turning people away.
Oh, man.
They were like, at one point, a guy, this is true.
Yeah.
A guy was ordering from a touch screen, and one of the guys working goes, hey, just yelling across the room. And then
Halt.
The boss, the guy I take to be in charge, turns and sees, and I'm like, oh, he's going to yell at the guy for yelling at a customer. But he goes, hey, sir, did you notice no one else is ordering? We're not taking any new orders.
Shut off your tablet thing.
And I felt like
it's not this guy's fault.
A chill go up my spine.
Yeah.
That
probably made me cry.
They were overworked. They were struggling. Anytime somebody would come in, they go like, we're not taking orders. We're done. Like not like customers like like they were pissed. But then at a certain point, I guess we were waiting so goddamn long.
Oh, man.
That he was like, all right, well, now also the dining room has to close. So if you're not waiting for food, you have to get out. He just yells this to the room. If you're not waiting for food, you have to leave.
Yeah.
And he walks up to two guys who are sitting in a booth, like so laid back.
Uh-huh.
It's like they're going to go to sleep.
Yeah.
He walks up and he has a whole new tactic. He's softer with these two guys. He goes, guys, the dining room's closed, so you have to leave. And one of the guys goes, get the fudge out of my face. Wow. And the boss walks back to his little counter and just doesn't even look over there anymore.
That's really funny.
It was like Tatooine.
That guy really came too.
It was like B. Arthur trying to kick the people out of the bar, and they just go, weep bluff. I saw it.
That sounds like such a fun night. You guys went to a wedding, then like on the way home you stop at like a Taco Bell bar. That's so nice.
This is how I know you and I are related and have the same mentality.
What?
I left there with the biggest smile on my face.
Oh, it sounds so nice.
It was so enjoyable to experience.
Yeah.
I barely go anywhere when the sun sets anymore, Kristen. It was 1:30 in the morning.
Already same.
For different reasons, though.
What?
The second that like I have to like get Zoe to bed, I'm not leaving the house. I don't go anywhere. You have a different reason for not going anywhere or doing anything. Although, let's face it, my reasons are also pretty similar.
I just prefer not to.
Exactly.
I want to be ensconced.
I think I've told the story where like I had to pick up a Target order and I was like, well, no one's going to be there. It's 8:30. Like, oh my god, my life is so different. No, I had a vision of being like younger and seeing stuff like this before, like an altercation, people screaming at each other. This is a novelty.
Oh, totally. I mean, I've absolutely.
This is there every night.
Right, I know.
Every night this happens.
Oh, that's so funny.
It was. We walked out actually, and we saw our friends, and they were like, Allie, Will.
Yeah.
Whoa, are you, they're still open, right? And I still have the door open. I went, do not go in there.
It is not time to think outside the bun.
They weren't taking orders anyway.
But is that what their slogan
think outside
was?
the bun.
Yeah.
It was very good. But it was like the rules were so dead that I could just shout, don't go into that Taco Bell. And everyone is like, yeah, he's right.
It's absolutely
Nobody
true.
should come in.
Yeah.
Anyway, I went to Tatooine is what I'm trying to say.
It's awesome.
So B. Arthur then sings a song to get everybody to leave, and it's a nice song.
Totally.
She's like, just one more drink, friends, and then it ends. Friends.
Yeah.
Don't forget me in your dreams.
Yeah, it's a little Broadway ditty.
A sweet little Broadway song.
Yep.
They didn't do that. If they did that at my Taco
The
Bell.
meme jumped out.
Yeah, you're right. If only they had sung me out at Taco Bell.
If only.
Yeah.
So much better. I have to say, I had...
One more bite, friends, and then good night, friends.
Yeah. I had like the opposite experience as you from watching this meal. Like, I want more. I was watching the scene, and even though I liked it more than anything else, I was like, I think that this is like illustrating part of why I just feel like Star Wars isn't necessarily for me. I just don't like the looks of a lot of stuff. Yeah. I'm not feasting my eyes. I'm like looking at a bunch of sand and like a weird anteater alien. It's like not fun for my eyes to experience.
Yeah, this is all very...
It's like if the Muppets sucked.
That's great. That's great. That's like a back of the box blurb.
Yeah.
If the Muppets sucked,
it's
Star Wars.
And I know that this isn't the finest that Star Wars has to offer anyway. However, it's still kind of in keeping. And I will keep an open mind. I don't hate Star Wars, but I was like, this just doesn't feel like it's for me.
Have you ever seen the Muppet stuff from the beginning of Saturday Night Live?
Yeah.
Where it's like not for kids, but also not funny?
I don't like that either.
It's like a little dramatic scene of like dragons or something.
Yeah.
And it's like, this is not what I don't care about puppets having drama.
No.
I don't care about this.
No, I don't like that either.
I see what you mean. Also, early Star Wars, the costumes were very weird, where it's like, I don't know if it was a budget thing or a we don't know what we're doing yet thing, but like, there's a werewolf in that bar. It's like, there's a demon. There's just like a red devil with devil horn. It's like they got a mask from Party City or something.
Yeah, it's very weird.
But there is also a moment where B. Arthur sits into the booth. For people who know, like the famous Han Solo shoots first booth. You know what I'm talking about?
No.
You can't think of like the iconic image of Han Solo sitting in a bar?
I genuinely can't.
Okay. It's like, I think she's going to like the seat that he sits in, but there's a gigantic rat, like a big rat puppet.
Yeah, I can picture this. Yeah.
And she like leans over and rests her head on him and like pets him because she's singing. She's like, and say goodnight, friends. And she like hugs this giant rat puppet. And I was like, I love this because it's so not creative on one hand. Like, it's just like, what if rats were big? Like, that's not, I don't know. Is this like this isn't vermin in this bar? This is like a person at the bar? Like, did this rat order a drink?
It is weird that's not like a weird like species of animal like the other things that we're seeing.
Right, it's a rat.
It's just a straight up rat like we have, but huge.
And not like a rat man.
No.
Not a rat man sitting at the bar. It's a giant rat puppet.
Yeah.
And she hugs it. And it's the same iconic spot where Han Solo shot Greedo. Where I'm just like, there's like a lack of... you know how like modern movies will be like, you're in Stu's house.
Yeah.
Like, it's not just a house anymore. It's got to be like a big thing. It's like, that's Han Solo's booth. No, it's not. He sat there once, but that's also where B. Arthur hugged
It's also
a rat.
just a booth.
It's just a booth
in this bar in Tatooine.
Yeah.
Does the bar have a name? Or do you just always see like the bar in Tatooine?
The cantina.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
But a cantina is presumably just a name of a bar, right? Like you go to a cantina.
I guess so, but I guess maybe it's the name of it. I'm not sure.
I have no idea. But that's a charming little scene. With
no,
it gave me nice warm feelings where they continued.
It gave me warm feelings, except that I didn't like the fact that everybody leaves the bar eventually when she sings them out, except for the guy with the weird hole in his head.
Yeah, Harvey Korman playing Krellman.
He has a crush on her. He's been hitting on her, and she's already rejected him, and he stays behind. And I find this to be unsafe behavior, and I don't like that the Imperial Guards just watched it and they didn't go to her aid. Mom. This woman has already turned this man down, and now he's hanging back while she's locking up the bar.
That's not what they do, first of all. Also, Harvey Korman is not only hanging back while everyone leaves, he's standing behind the bar like he works there.
Right, that's right.
You'd be like, Harvey Korman, are you robbing me?
Yeah, get out of here.
I can barely afford the stock that I keep.
Right.
I don't trust you, Harvey Korman.
No way.
Plus, you're able to talk and drink at the same time as you pour them into the top of your head. So I don't know what you've done.
I know. And at one point, he like pours the drink into the top of his head, and then he's like, with his mouth, like he's tasting it.
Kristen doesn't like that.
No, it's not for me.
If you're thinking of putting that in a movie. No.
It's a pass.
From there we get back to the Chewbacca family and their issues with the Empire.
Mm-hmm.
So like they're breathing down their neck and stuff, and I mean it's a little weird, but it's fine. But like they killed one of the stormtroopers,
Right.
weirdly, with like no pomp or the entire time. Chewbacca's wife keeps like holding a picture of Chewbacca,
Yeah.
and being like, I miss you, I love you, where are you?
Right.
They video chat with Luke, and Luke's like in the middle of something. Just weird. He's like fixing something.
Oh yeah.
He's like, oh, I'm sure he's just late. You know, he's not gonna miss a life day.
Right. Right.
But like, if you can video chat,
Why
can't
don't you
video chat to
do that to
the
Chewbacca?
Millennium Falcon.
I don't know. Also, Mark Hamill has so much makeup on during this scene.
Yeah.
And so do you know why, I'm assuming?
I think so.
So I didn't at first. So when I was watching it, I was like, what the hell is going on? And it turns out that he had recently had a car crash that was really, really horrible and life-threatening.
Yeah.
And so they had to put on a ton of makeup to mask his scars.
It was in 1977.
But
and it's
really
also
stood
why
out.
at the beginning of Empire Strikes Back, he's attacked by basically a Yeti. It's called a wampa.
Oh, to like...
And it slashes his face open.
Oh, man.
And like there's like an in-show reason why his face looks different. Meanwhile, I don't think I look at him and go, oh, he looks scarred or anything. I don't know. I guess I never
I didn't
really
notice
felt
any
that way.
scars or anything in the special, but his makeup looked like super thick face wise.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And
in this,
he had on like a ton of eyeshadow and eyeliner, and I was like, whoa, this isn't what this guy looks like in the movies.
No, it's really
And then I found out why.
it's really weird.
I don't
But,
know why
like,
they went with the eyeshadow. Well, there must have been a reason. Who
he's
knows?
also like the main character of Star Wars, you know? And in
Right.
this, he's being video chatted by Chewbacca's wife and being like, I'm sure he'll show up.
well, but
He's not in the cockpit of the Millennium Falcon with Han Solo and Chewbacca on an adventure.
Princess Leia is also sort of just sprinkled in, almost as an afterthought.
But
so,
at least she is presumably some sort of a dignitary who
Right.
probably has like a...
she didn't have time for this.
Right. Luke Skywalker is supposed to be some sort of an adventurer,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, and he's tinkering with like a bike.
Yeah, he's like fixing some tubes
Mm-hmm.
with R2-D2, and they fog up. All right. How exciting.
Right.
So anyway, the Empire is breathing down their neck. This whole time it's been about where's Chewbacca? He's late for Life Day.
Yeah.
And then they just sort of show up.
I know. They
They're just
didn't have to like fight their way through anything that we saw. They just made
They're
it.
just at the house. I didn't even realize it was them.
Yeah.
Chewbacca walks into frame, and I was like, I assumed it was the wife.
Well, they all look quite similar.
Well, that's
It's
true,
really just that Chewbacca has like dark brown fur around his face and she has blonde.
correct. So they kill that one stormtrooper, which means now they got to explain where it went, because I actually enjoyed this aspect. They kill a stormtrooper, which in Star Wars is like you kill 1 million of them.
Yeah.
But for this small family, now there's like some sort of a dude from the Empire who comes checking, is like, Stormtrooper 426 hasn't checked in. Bring him to the comm link or something like that. I want to see him on camera.
Yeah.
So Art Carney steps in. He lives on Kashyyyk.
Okay.
And he goes like, when all the other stormtroopers left, he remained. He stole a great deal of food from me and then went for the hill. That's his explanation. And then the guy on the TV basically goes like, very well. Okay, I believe you.
Yeah.
like move on. That's like, that problem's dealt with.
Yeah.
You won't have to worry about that anymore.
Done.
Who's cleaning up the corpse?
Right.
Like, no one's gonna find that?
Right.
By the way, it's Wookiees. They live like in tree houses. So that
just
thing
feel-
fell out of a tree house like hundreds of feet.
Right.
There's a corpse down there.
They just live by a whole other set of rules that changes whenever they want them to. So
I guess that's true. It just struck me odd that there's a notion here where you can just be like, it's fine.
right.
No, it's not fine.
Shouldn't be.
It's not gonna be fine.
No.
The only other thing to even talk about before we get to Life Day itself and how they celebrate it,
Sure to be stinky room
there's, oh my god, yeah.
because it's full of wooks.
There's a cartoon. What'd you think of this cartoon?
I had a very hard time focusing on the cartoon. I'm going to be totally honest with you. Ryan said something to me about the cartoon, like asked something or whatever, and I think I was like partially zoned out.
Okay.
But I believe people like the cartoon. Is that right?
That's correct.
Yeah.
Evidently, it's available on Disney Plus alone.
Oh, okay.
Which makes it the only part of this special that is acknowledged.
Yeah, right.
In any official capacity.
Yeah.
They excise the cartoon and put it up on streaming and then leave the rest of this alone.
Yeah.
I'm shocked that there's
it must have that like
an
Lucas
HD version of this.
Right. No, it must have that like Lucasfilm sort of like cool intro on it on Disney Plus then.
Oh, maybe. I didn't even look. I bet you're right.
You know?
I bet you're
so
right.
it's respected.
But it's like a very short anime adventure thing, and I liked it.
Yeah.
It's notable because it's the first time that Boba Fett, like a
Right.
fan favorite character, ever appeared.
Right.
He's they evidently used early designs of a costume being built for Empire Strikes Back to make this Boba Fett, where he's got like a voice and a motivation. He's a bounty hunter.
Yeah.
Something's gone wrong in the great tradition of like the old serials.
Yeah.
And therefore Star Wars, which is inspired by Flash Gordon and stuff. The Millennium Falcon, piloted by Han Solo and Chewbacca, is acting strange. On a video chat, which means they had video chat in the Millennium Falcon that they don't, Mala doesn't use to call her husband. Or vice versa, Chewbacca never calls his family.
Honey, I'm coming home.
Do something.
Yeah.
Anyway, they use video chat in the cartoon where they can see that Chewbacca's piloting alone and he has tied up Han Solo upside down in the background. They're like, what's going on?
Yeah.
And he's flying all crazy. Something's afoot.
Right.
So they send Luke Skywalker and the droids, R2-D2 and C-3PO, to find out what's happening. The Millennium Falcon lands on some sort of a weird rubbery water planet that has a bunch of dinosaurs on it. And we learn the following. There was some sort of an amulet, some sort of a magical MacGuffin that doesn't affect Wookiees, but it does affect humans.
Right.
And it put Han Solo to sleep.
Right.
The only way to stave off death or whatever is to make sure that blood keeps rushing to his head. Therefore, Chewbacca tied him upside down. To most people, it would look like Chewbacca maybe commandeered the ship, mutinied or something.
No, he's keeping him alive.
He's keeping him alive. This is a very fun misadventure sort of premise.
Yeah.
We thought that one thing was happening, but really there's an explanation when you just slow down.
Yeah.
But Boba Fett is on this planet riding a dinosaur.
Yes, I know. That was very confusing.
Like showed up on a big brontosaurus like Fred Flintstone or something.
Right.
And he keeps calling them friends.
Yeah.
This is the first time they've ever met him. And so he's like, I can help you, friends. I know what to do. Like, I'll go with Chewbacca to find the cure for the amulet thing or whatever. And so they're like, this Boba Fett is an interesting guy. He's a bounty hunter. He's on our side. He's going to help us.
Like
That's
a stand-up
great.
dude.
But then once they split up, Boba Fett takes a video chat from Darth Vader.
Yeah.
And he's like, I've gotten in their good graces.
And it's James Earl Jones.
It's James Earl Jones. He's like, I'll bring them to you, Darth Vader.
He is a bounty hunter first and foremost, after
and so
all.
really, he's a bad guy.
Yeah.
And they find out that he's a bad guy. Blah, blah, blah. He's like, I'll get you next time, friends, or something like that. And zip lines out of there. The end. A fun, super compact little adventure.
Yeah.
We meet a character who seems friendly, but really he's dastardly.
Which is always
hey,
good.
He's going to show up in the next movie. He shows up in the next movie and he doesn't even talk.
Oh, really?
And then in the third movie, he also doesn't... I think maybe he has like a line or two, but he has none of this characterization or anything. This was all made like in a bubble.
Yeah.
And then he's like eaten by a sandworm.
Oh,
fat
really?
sandworm in part 3.
Well...
And it's gone.
These things happen.
For like 30 or 40 years until now they have a new show all about him.
Yeah.
But it's like he was a nothing character. But this one cartoon is really cool.
Yeah.
And so it lives here. Lumpy watches it on TV. Again, they thankfully don't let us just watch Lumpy watch it.
No, we go into the cartoon.
Which is appropriate, and that's what it always should have been.
Absolutely.
When Jefferson's starship shows up, an Imperial Guard is watching them. And so we watch the Guard watch the music video. It's
that
very
was
stupid.
the second point where I was like, I would just be out. I've been done with this, but I am really, really done. I want it to be released.
I thought that song was kind of neat, no?
I think the song was fine. I think I didn't like this
Okay.
at all.
All right, fair enough.
And by the time it looks like we're looking through goggles watching Jefferson Starship play. I was
Yes.
just like, nothing is normal.
We're
Just give me
literally-
something straightforward to look at.
They're tiny on a screen like Mike TV from
Yes.
Willy Wonka.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
you can like see the guard's hand tapping to the beat in the foreground. It's like so distracting. Just
Yeah.
let the thing be entertainment on its own.
So Bruce Valanche was the writer on this.
Yes.
And he was apparently very coked up.
The center square. Oh, really? Oh, boy. It's like watching The Muppet Show if you were always watching what's on stage from from stage left with Kermit looking
right.
at it. He's
Right.
always looking over his shoulder.
Never just straight up looking at it.
Everything is removed. Everything is removed.
Yeah.
All right, so let's get to Life Day
Day.
and wrap it up. So Chewbacca's home now. They can finally celebrate Life Day. This is strange. Han Solo says goodbye to everybody
Yeah.
and leaves Chewbacca's house. But then, to kick off the celebrations, Chewbacca, his cantankerous father or father-in-law Itchy, his loving, doting wife Mala, and his precocious son Lumpy, each take some sort of a snow globe.
Right.
They're holding 4 glowing snow globes. They put them together, and they are transported through time and space. They march.
That's right.
They suddenly they're wearing red robes.
I will say this looked awesome.
This looked
Yeah.
like, take a snapshot of it, and it looks like it should be like an album cover.
It looked kick-ass.
It did.
So it's like the vastness of night with tons of stars and stuff, and then just this like line, this trail of Wookiees all wearing robes, just like walking across the sky.
Walking across the sky until they reach a black void.
Yeah.
Together, and Han Solo's there,
Right. With Princess Leia.
and Luke.
Yeah.
And C-3PO and R2-D2, even though he just said goodbye to
Right.
them.
And also, nobody else has brought guests. It is wall-to-wall Wookiee, except for this crew.
And Princess Leia
Centers
not only
herself.
makes a speech, she like stands up in front of everybody, and she gives a speech that's like, "This day is yours,
Right.
but we all should learn to celebrate the lessons that Life Day teaches." I'm like, I'm sorry, am I at a political rally right
I
now?
know.
I'm a Wookiee trying to get crunk on Life Day.
Exactly.
And now here comes some Humie.
Right. Swooping in and telling me how to enjoy my holiday.
My Life Day?
Could this not have been done by a Wookiee?
Could it get any worse?
No.
And then she sings a song.
Yes.
We
So the answer is yes, it could be
celebrate
worse.
A day of peace, a day of harmony. And she looks
I
like
could
she's
not...
on another planet, if you know what I'm saying.
Yes. I could not wait for this to be over.
This was shocking.
Because, like I said, this was after the fake out ending where it seemed like it was over and then all of a sudden this happened.
It's like, oh, we can celebrate. Yay. The end. Cut
I-
the credits. No, we have to see what Life Day is about.
Was just running down the clock staring at this.
So all right. I looked up Life Day. I'm on the Wikipedia right now.
Great.
Okay. All right. This is a quote from Elok Throno, found in the Traveler's Guide to Batuu.
Okay.
I believe Batuu is Galaxy's Edge, the Star Wars world
Okay.
at Disneyland.
Okay.
Festive decor can be seen throughout Batuu, and at the close of Life Day, everyone gathers around the Black Spire to sing songs and spread good cheer to one another. So I guess you go to Star Wars World, and around the holidays, they have
Right.
Life Day.
Okay.
Because to some extent,
Wait.
I know,
Okay, go ahead.
to some extent, this has been embraced.
Yeah.
Life Day is referenced in episode 1 of The Mandalorian.
Okay.
And I guess they do it at Star Wars World. So there is a
Surprised to
tongue-in-cheek
hear that.
quality here, and yet Disney is still content to let it be a bootleg on YouTube.
Yeah, that's weird.
I'm shocked that they didn't just put this on.
That's what I think's strange is that they haven't, if they're even going to embrace it in the parks.
Right. Let's not
like-
pretend there's not embarrassing Star Wars stuff.
Sure.
This should be a drop in the bucket. And
Yeah.
listen, my fond
Bantha
feelings.
Poodoo.
Oh my god!
It's one of the only things I know about Star Wars.
They literally talk about poop.
Yeah.
In episode 1, The Phantom Menace, they talk about poop at least twice. Jar Jar steps in Bantha Poodoo.
I thought you were lying to me about this for a long time.
It seems like something I would have made up.
Yeah.
There was a time, and I haven't done this in a long time,
Yeah.
where I would just lie about something. Just for the hell of it to see if Kristen would believe it, and then
just for sicko kicks.
And then if Kristen just goes like, "Oh, really? Weird," I just let it ride. Why tell her that I made it up?
Right.
But also, there's a whole race thing that happens, and when the bad guy's car it's pod racing, but whatever. His car crashes. He crashes a Chevy,
this.
Whatever.
Yeah.
He goes, "Poodoo."
Poodoo.
So they also use poop
as a
4-letter
expletive.
word. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is interesting.
Very interesting. Well, so do we here on Earth.
I'm just saying, like some things are the same,
right?
But some things are different.
Yeah.
Like in Star Wars, you still eat food. You don't eat like Kamtoko.
Yeah, but sometimes you're eating it through your head or whatever.
That's true. But like Han Solo and Luke are friends.
Yeah.
They're not like charm lifers.
Right.
You know what I mean?
They'll keep some vocabulary and concepts.
Some vocabulary.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, otherwise the bar would be so incredibly high for anybody to enjoy this.
That is very true.
So it makes sense. It can't be like an absolutely entirely new vocabulary.
I did come up with my own Star Wars vernacular. Mm-hmm. I have a character that I invented. His name is Pamaja.
Okay.
And he is from the Staconian Outback.
Ah.
You can do this with really any words. That Pamaja is pajamas.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Pamaja.
I thought it was kind of cute. Zoe was wearing pajamas, and I said, you must be Pamaja.
That is really cute.
And then the Staconian Outback is Outback Steakhouse.
Nice.
You can literally do this with anything.
Yeah.
Here, I've got a headline behind me right now because I just wanted to put baby Chewbacca's face on the screen, but it says, the Divine Star Wars Holiday Special. Divine. Mm-hmm. Divinia. This is my friend Divinia.
Yeah.
Right? Comedy. The word comedy. I'm from planet Commodus.
Yes.
It doesn't matter.
It trips off the tongue if you let it.
Pamaja from the Staconian Outback. That's an original character.
It's fantastic.
It's baby Zoe. Goes on adventures.
I love that.
So Life Day was a holiday of Wookiee tradition that celebrated family, joy, and harmony, values and tenets of Wookiee culture. I mean, in other cultures, right? Traditionally
I don't
held at the
know.
Tree of Life.
It was like all Wookiees.
Like maybe that's why it got like what's it called when like you steal someone's culture?
Oh, cultural appropriation.
Maybe that's why Princess Leia appropriated Wookiee culture to be like, we celebrate this day too, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
This is ours now.
Yeah, right.
Gentrifying Kashyyyk.
Yeah, colonizing Kashyyyk.
Yeah, what do you think Art Carney was doing there?
That's true. That's a good point.
So
He was popping up everywhere.
Traditionally held at the Tree of Life on the forested Wookiee homeworld of Kashyyyk, celebrations were held by people across the stars after the dark times of the Galactic Empire. Mm-hmm. So I think what they're saying here, if I can translate,
yes,
literally what we see in the holiday special is the moment that Princess Leia is like, the Empire's taken over, we need something to celebrate.
Oh.
We'll take Life Day. Because the dark times means the Empire's taken over.
Right.
So I think the holiday special is the origin of Life Day's proliferation throughout the galaxy.
Oh, okay. So before that, it was Wookiees only.
I think so.
Okay.
Making the Wookiee holiday their own, people marked the day with festive decor,
I hope the Wookiees were cool with it.
lights, feasts, and music, where sentients were reminded of compassion. I don't know what sentients are. I assume some sort of a robot. Maybe they're bots.
I don't know.
Or just people.
Hard to say.
I don't know, whatever. It just brought me to a Jar Jar quote. I'm going to move on, whatever. So it's just a holiday.
Yeah.
It's a holiday of good feelings.
Yeah.
Whatever. But like they couldn't just make it be. And this gets to the root of the issue as we wrap up. You want to make a Christmas special, let's face it. That's what they were doing.
Of course.
But this happened a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away.
Right. So Christmas is off the table.
Can't be Christmas.
Yeah.
What are you going to do?
You got to make up a Life Day.
You make something up and you pick Life Day, which sounds like the Human Fund.
Yes, it does sound like the Human Fund.
It's very generic.
Yes, the Human Fund is the fake charity that George made up on Seinfeld.
So that he didn't have to buy people gifts. He would say, I made a donation in your name to the Human Fund.
Right.
Life Day.
Yeah, it
sounds like somebody said, George, quick, make up a holiday.
Yeah, Life Day.
Life Day.
It theoretically makes sense that it would be a holiday that is specific to the Star Wars universe, but it's
certainly
just so weak.
But
Life Day.
Here's the next question.
Or is it poignant in its simplicity?
You decide.
Life Day.
It's all about life.
Yeah.
But here's the next question. You have been charged with writing a Star Wars story centered around a holiday. What do you pick to do with that? Is it mostly a family being harassed?
Right.
And then looking at cooking videos?
And porn?
And porn? Could it
And Shen
be
Yun?
that somebody learns the true meaning of Life Day by the end of it? Could it be
That would make sense.
right?
Like
Wouldn't you
every other
pick-
Life Day special on the planet.
Yes. Wouldn't you pick something that's central to the holiday?
Maybe you would. Bruce Valanche would not.
Bruce Valanche did not.
Yeah.
There's a bit of lore here
Yeah.
that George Lucas kicked this all off by saying, well, it'd be a lot of fun if we had a story that was all about the Wookiees, and we don't even subtitle it. It's about the Wookiee culture. Listen, you can watch shows that are not in your spoken language.
Yeah.
Right? I watched a show when I went to India that I loved. I have no idea what it was about. It looked like Who's Line. It was like Drew Carey on Who's Line sitting at a desk shouting stuff out. But on stage, it's an episode of Friends.
Yeah.
It was like a 4-camera sitcom, but then some
That's
guy in the
neat.
audience shouting stuff out.
Oh, wow. That's cool.
Thought it was so awesome, had no idea what anybody was saying.
Yeah.
So I get it. You could do a Wookiee story.
Oh, totally.
And here they've got the archetypes. You've got grumpy old Itchy sitting in the chair like Frasier's dad. You've got a kid who's playing with toys, and you've got the wife in the kitchen cooking bantha stew.
Yep.
Bantha surprise.
Of course she is.
You've got your
Even wearing an
stereotypes.
apron. The only clothing that we see grace
I
a
know.
Wookiee bod.
Which once she turns around and she's only wearing an apron, you look right at the Wookiee ass.
Definitely. Because the tie is like framing it.
It's
unnatural to be wearing an apron with nothing underneath.
It raises questions. It raises some questions.
It really does.
But so you've got your stereotypes of people. You can tell a story and just have it be Wookiees. But the problem is, Wookiees sound like shit.
Yeah, it's an annoying
It's
sound.
annoying as hell.
Yeah.
And then the fun
I
that they're
actually wouldn't
having.
want to just watch something with Wookiees, even besides the sound. I need dialogue.
I'm
It doesn't
not
have to
saying-
be in my language.
I'm not saying it's good. I'm saying you could.
Sure.
And it can be done.
Anything can be
It
done.
wasn't done correctly.
A bantha could take a poodoo right in front of us, but it doesn't mean it's good.
Kristen, I defy you. Go back to the Phantom Menace. People hate that movie, but they love that moment where Jar Jar steps in the poodoo.
Right.
And then a bantha literally turns around and looks at him and goes like, like makes a face at him. It's like, it's really. I guess it's not a bantha. What does he step in? He steps in someone's poodoo. He does. It's in there.
No, I know. You showed me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll show you again too. But anyway, it all started with George Lucas, and there's a
Right.
bit of trivia online where it's like, at some point somebody was like, "This is insane. We need subtitles. Something's got to change."
Something's got to give.
But George Lucas refused. He would stick by his original vision.
Yeah, yeah.
And yet he later tried to wash his hands of the whole thing.
I know. I know. He
Six of
tried
one,
to
half
pull
a
a
dozen of the other.
What is this phrase? You've said it a couple times tonight. I don't know it.
It's the same either way.
6 and 1/2. Okay.
Speaking out of both sides of his
gotcha.
mouth. He wants nothing to do with it, and yet wouldn't have happened if not for him, for a couple of reasons.
Wait, where'd this phrase come from? I've never heard you say this before.
What?
And you've said it multiple times tonight.
Speaking out of both sides of your mouth?
No. 6 and 1, half a dozen of the other. Did you hear this recently or anything?
No, this is a well-known phrase that the kids use. Everyone uses this.
Okay. I've just never heard it, and you've used it, not even just in this episode. You used it a few times tonight, and
Yeah.
I've never heard it. I was just
Yeah.
wondering if you watched a show and it got stuck in your head or something.
No, I think it's just a phrase.
Okay.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Like pulling something out of the pale blue sky.
No.
It's
I
just
believe
a
that it's a
phrase.
phrase. I gotcha. I just never heard it past your lips. Never heard it past anybody's lips. And it's come up a lot. I was
Maybe
just wondering if
this
it was
is-
inspired from somewhere.
Maybe this is like a Mandela effect moment for you.
And-
Maybe you from another universe died and got sucked into this universe.
Whoa!
Right?
Yeah,
Yeah, something like that.
probably.
Probably. Let's face it. It's the most likely explanation.
Yeah.
It's not just that you've never heard that phrase before. But no, I think it's just a phrase.
Yeah.
But so George Lucas is to blame.
Of course he is. He wrote the treatment for this.
One way or another,
They
yeah.
executed his vision. It may not have been to his exact liking, but they had stuff to work from. They didn't make it up.
Yeah. And the big shockaroo is this. No, I don't like this special,
Oh, right.
but I don't hate it as much as everybody says
Yeah.
it deserves hate. It's not as bad as decades of hearing people dump on it. I don't
Right.
think that it could possibly live up to the poor reputation that it's been given.
Yeah.
So to that extent, I was impressed by it. But that's not to
Yeah.
say I liked it.
No,
It's just
I
not
get
as
that.
bad as hearing that it's terrible.
Right.
I like the cartoon. Evidently enough other people do as well that it's
Yeah.
on Disney Plus. I like the B. Arthur segment. I like seeing her hug a rat in Han Solo's booth.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I sort of like squinting at stuff and going like, what is happening?
Right.
But I'm also bored for the vast majority of it.
That's the thing. I don't hate this.
Yeah.
I like Don Draper. Don't feel anything about it at all.
Which is really the most damning emotion you can have.
I do feel something. That's an exaggeration, but I didn't hate it. I was just like, I'm not enjoying being here whatsoever.
Yeah.
It's not even deplorable or anything. I've certainly watched things for the show where I'm like, I hate this.
Right.
I didn't feel that way. I just felt like, I just want to leave here.
Ironically, I think it may have gotten me back into Star Wars.
I mean, that's great.
I'm like,
then it's given you a gift.
I want to see those shows that I haven't watched. It's been years
People
since
say Andor is amazing, and Ryan loves it.
I tried watching it at night, and I like zoned out because I was doing other stuff, and I just didn't try again.
Yeah.
I didn't give it a fair
I saw something that
shake.
made me very sad. I'm afraid to watch it. Somebody's really stuck between a rock and a hard place in it.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Somebody like slaps Baby Yoda.
No.
He's probably
Baby Yoda's not there.
No?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, if he was, I'd probably watch it.
Yeah.
I kind of think Baby Yoda's the only reason I watch The Mandalorian.
Zoe loves Baby Yoda.
Oh, I do too. Baby Yoda is so cute. They did what they set out to do.
Oh yeah, it's a corporate product. It's a cheat. They pulled it's like the Konami
I don't
code.
mind being manipulated when it's something just pleasant and cute. Fine.
I know. It's like they typed in like a cheat code to make everybody like something. And it's like, yeah, it worked. It worked perfectly fine. He's adorable.
Yes.
But yeah, I haven't watched a lot of this stuff. I don't think I watched season 2. Maybe I did. I'm not sure.
Of The Mandalorian?
I don't remember.
I know I did. I don't really remember.
I don't really remember.
Yeah.
And I definitely didn't watch Boba Fett or Andor.
Mm-hmm.
But this made me be like, oh yeah, I like Here's the thing. I like Star Wars. Ironically, for this holiday special being so hated.
Yeah.
I like Star Wars specifically around the holidays.
Oh.
I think I got trained on, in 2015, the new one came out, like episode 7, Force Awakens. And then they came out
around the holidays.
They came out around the holidays for a few years.
Yeah. Yeah, you subliminally.
Rogue One. Around December, I want to see a weird, silly alien.
Yeah.
I think.
That's nice.
And then I think most of the year I'm okay.
Right.
I like this stuff. There's like a weird, cozy, you're inside anyway adventure. I don't know.
Yeah.
They trained me on it, I think is really what, I think to your point, they really trained me on it, where it's like a movie came out around the holidays every once in a while.
Yeah.
And it made me want it.
I mean, that's nice.
So
it's a nice time to cozy up and watch movies. They're long movies, I think, right? So that's like fun to.
They're very long.
I have seen some of them.
There was a time where we enjoyed it. There was a time, it was years ago now, but we used to go home, like our mom and dad's home, every Wednesday night for movie nights.
Yes.
And there was a period of time where we were doing like the Indiana Jones movies, and then we did a couple of the Star Wars ones.
Yeah.
And I think even after Dad passed away, we watched one of them with Mom, and she was like, I liked that.
I think that was when Dad was alive.
I don't think so.
Okay.
And I was like, we could do this. We could watch more of these, and we just didn't. But it was like, I was pleased because we all surprisingly were like on the same page of just having fun with a little adventure.
Yeah.
We just never really did it again.
Yeah, true.
Yeah. Well, there you go. That's the holiday
there you
special.
have it. Yeah, so you can watch it for yourself if you want. It's on YouTube.
It's just on YouTube.
You could even just click around through it to see if you think it's interesting. But
watch the cartoon and watch B. Arthur hug that rat. I'm telling you, it's a very loving embrace.
It is. It's an embrace between old friends.
It is. And
yeah.
She's friends with that rat.
No, she definitely is.
He's not an intruder
nice.
in her bar. He's a patron and a friend.
Oh, absolutely. He's a regular.
He is.
Yeah. So we hope you enjoyed the show. We didn't even do our middle of the show spiel about.
You're right. That's a Life Day gift to all of you.
Right. So we'll just briefly do the regular at the end of the show mention. You can go to patreon.com/GTTUpod if you would like to support the show. You can also go to themythtraveler.com to support Willie and his work. He puts out really, really cool written stuff. He sometimes records the audio for it. And he released something this week, or at least promoted something this week, about anti-aging technology and what it would be like if we were able to de-age a certain beloved star and debut him on The Tonight Show. And it's very cool and weird.
It was inspired in part by Chrissy.
Because I'm aging backwards?
Of course.
Yeah.
You had a period of time where you were writing what you called celebrity horror stories.
Yes. Yeah.
And I had this weird idea where I was like, if somebody invents anti-aging, how are they going to prove that?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I was
Like full on like de-aging.
So this was like a conversational topic that I would bring up occasionally. I'd be like, imagine with me, just imagine the hypothetical. Somebody sends you a clip and they're like, you have to watch this. And it's a clip of The Tonight Show. And they pull back the curtains and Jack Nicholson walks out. But Jack Nicholson today looking like Jack Nicholson from The Shining.
Yeah.
And they're like, we have invented anti-aging. Here is our demo model. Jack is back.
This would change the entire world.
The entire world changes the second you see this video. It's him being like, that's right, ladies and gentlemen, I've returned. And like all the swagger and all that stuff. And it's like, you just got to deal with it. Jack Nicholson is young again.
Yes.
So I wrote a whole story off of that stupid thing that I thought about.
That concept.
Anyway, go check that out, themythtraveler.com. There is an audio version of that story. I've recorded audio versions of everything on there.
Okay, I couldn't remember if it was everything.
I just haven't released them all.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But maybe I'll get around to doing that.
Yeah.
Also, paying subscribers over there get access to stuff early, so the next story I post will only go to paid backers for a good while.
Yeah, it's awesome.
And our Patreon is patreon.com/gttupod. The one thing I want to shout out about it is that our Monday episode this past week was a ton of fun. I think a lot of people would really enjoy it. I ended up actually listening to it after we released it, which I don't always do.
I did too.
Did you really?
Yes, I did.
It was just so much fun to do.
Yep.
We
were watching clips from Unsolved Mysteries about Christmas miracles.
It's like I called it Unsolved Christ Mysteries.
Yeah.
Which doesn't work as a pun visually.
Rolls off the tongue.
But it's people who were like visited with mysterious good luck.
Yeah.
It's like a very nice thing.
No, it's lovely.
But it's on spooky old Unsolved Mysteries. You can literally watch the episodes like with us.
Yeah.
So go check that out. Patreon.com/gttupod. We greatly appreciate your support.
Yes.
You're not only getting that show, by the way, the Netherworld Dispatch, you're supporting this show.
Oh, yeah. Hugely.
Supporting the whole operation. We greatly appreciate it.
Yeah.
Follow at GTTUpod on all social media. And also follow us.
Yep. I'm at Chillin' Kristen.
I'm at The Myth Traveler. So thank you so much for journeying to
Tatooine, to
Kashyyyk,
Kazook,
Batu.
What was the Outback Steakhouse place?
The Steakonian Outback, where Pamaja lives.
Yep.
As a precocious, almost 2-year-old.
Pamaja.
Come on. Running out to the Outback. Come on. Going to the Steakonian Outback. We'll see you next week for some more crazy old stories, everybody. But until that time comes, we must travel.
Back to the Netherworld go we.
And I think we're going light speed. Punch it, Raj!
You got it, bro. Bong!
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 There you go.
Hi, everyone.